Hello and welcome back. So I just read while scrolling through, well, first of all, welcome back to the grow room. The other side, as you can see, I moved some plants around and I've got some lumber here for a few projects in the near future. Let's get into the video. I read while I was scrolling through YouTube the title of a video that said, "I'm too burnt out and depressed to be present." And I want to talk about this. Depression, anxiety, feeling burnt out, feeling too tired, fatigued. It's very common today. I've been there myself for a large portion of my life. And the very thought of getting out of it or changing that pattern, just the thought of it, is draining. It seems as though there's nothing you can do about it but just distract yourself. And this comment, this question, whatever you want to call it, is or comes from a misunderstanding of what it means to live in the moment, what it means to be present, what it means to be here and now, what it means to be aware, what it means to be conscious. In that very comment itself implies the misunderstanding that it takes effort to be aware or present or conscious. Effort itself comes from the ego. The perception of effort itself comes from the ego. To do or not to do both comes from the ego itself. And any fear from changing or of changing a state within you, of change itself, is again of the ego. And the ego will talk all kinds of sweet words. It'll be very convincing. It'll say and justify. It'll say exactly what it is you need to hear in order for you to listen to it. It'll create illusions of struggle. It'll create the illusion of effort. It will dangle something in front of you that your depression fears. It will say, "This is too much effort." Your depression will say, "You're right." And the thing is, you haven't even tried it for yourself, nor understand what it is and what it means to be present. Your ego is so good at convincing you that you believe what it says without even looking for yourself. What people don't understand, let me help clarify here. What people don't understand is that you can be aware of how shitty you feel, and you're present, and you're conscious, and you are aware, and you are living in the moment. Presence doesn't have a specific quality attached to it. You can be present that your foot hurts. You can be present of a thought. You can be present of a sound. You can be present that you're present. Presence embodies all qualities that are within the very moment, that are within the here and now. Even a thought about the future or the past can only be experienced in the present, in the here and the now. So in one sense, it's impossible not to be present. But spiritually speaking, there could be certain levels. There are levels to it. Spiritually speaking, one can be slightly more asleep or slightly more awake. Presence implies the identification with your thoughts, or lack of presence. Spiritual unconsciousness implies identification with the voice inside of your head. The belief that what is going on inside of you, in your mind, as the word in form of thinking, is who you are. When you believe you are your thoughts, you are then identified with the thought processes as this is me. This is happening to me. And in order to become present, you only need to watch that process happening. You then realize that you are not the thinking, but you are the essence that watches the thinking. And you're present. You see, presence takes no effort at all. And whoever wrote this comment that said, I am too burnt out or depressed, I can't remember which one is first. I am too burnt out and depressed to be present. That is the voice of the ego. That is the voice of its justification for you to avoid change. It is the belief that you need to change in order to be present. This is crazy. This is madness. Because, again, you can be a present, you can be aware of anything. Presence doesn't have, as I said earlier, a specific quality attached. You don't need to be happy in order to be present, or vice versa. You don't have to be present in order to be happy. There is a large misunderstanding in the spiritual community that happiness and all positive emotions are the goal of the spiritual journey. There's this large misunderstanding that that is what you're supposed to finally get to, and that where you are now is not good enough. That somehow being depressed or too drained is not good for you, not good enough for you, and that you don't have the energy. There's this misunderstanding, misinterpretation that what you're experiencing that you label as depression or drained is bad. When in reality, everything has a use. Everything has a function. Everything can be used, but doesn't need to be used. A negative or positive emotion is not the goal either side. And the experience can be experienced, and then that is the goal. You see, presence means to experience whatever it is that you're experiencing fully. To live it, to be it. You feel depressed? Feel your depression. You feel drained? Feel how drained you are. Feel the drained feeling. Your mind is trying to distract from those two things, depression and feeling drained, which is really one. Then notice the thought. Live the thought. Go into the distraction. If instead you'd rather watch television, Do it fully. Go into it. What creates the sense of negativity is a split inside of you. It is a part of you that says, what I have right now, I don't want. I want something else instead. What I have, I don't want. I want something else instead. That is the very cause of negativity in the first place. So when a person says, I feel too depressed or drained to be present, it means they're in denial of their current experience. They do not want to feel what they are feeling. And this do not want feeling is the very voice of the ego, is the very cause of the feeling of depression and the feeling of heaviness that comes with feeling too drained. Depression has been confused, misunderstood. Depression is basically happiness working out. It's happiness exercising. When you exercise, you feel physical pain and exhaustion. And that's on the physical sense. When you spiritually work out, when you spiritually exercise, it can feel tired, draining. You can feel depressed. This is you flexing your spiritual strength, your spiritual muscle, if you will. There's nothing wrong with exercise. You may not enjoy the process of exercising. There's very few people who do. And in that same way, you may not enjoy the experience of depression, but as they say in the fitness industry, bring your mind to the muscle. When you exercise physically, there's scientific evidence that the muscle itself becomes bigger and stronger, because what you do is you activate the electricity that goes through the bioelectricity, that goes through your body, and therefore activating a larger part of the muscle. So the growth of the muscle that you're aware of becomes greater. So your results are better. You have better results. And the same thing is true when it comes to your spiritual exercise that you can call depression, anxiety, or whatever. When you become aware of it, when you go into it, when you stop avoiding it, because imagine if you were exercising and trying to distract yourself, it would be a very lazy bicep curl. It would be a very lazy workout. You would not nearly get the results you were looking for. But what you don't realize is when you're depressed, you're looking to build spiritual strength. So go into your depression. Go into it. You don't need to enjoy it, but just bring awareness into it. Go into the feelings and the sensations. Not necessarily the words, maybe the words, but whatever you do, go into it. And it doesn't take any effort to bring your awareness into what you're feeling, because you're already feeling what you're feeling. And if you're going into distraction, go into distraction. Again, awareness, presence is nothing more than being aware of what you're currently, I can't speak, excuse me, experiencing, whatever it is, positive or negative. So go into your spiritual workout, your exercise of building inner strength, and see the result for yourself. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy your workout. Peace.